All right, welcome back to the TNT show. We're coming off a solid weekend of college football. We're gonna go ahead and break into our recap on those predictions we gave y'all last week. So, Tyler, let's just go ahead and hop into it.
Yeah, I think, like you said, another good week. A lot of really good games, close games. I think some of the games were games of the week. Um, I want to start off with Miami and Virginia Tech. That was honestly a shootout. The ending, obviously, there's a lot of controversy there. Did he catch it? Did he not catch it? Was it a pick? What all happened? Honestly, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I only seen the highlights of it. I think on plays like that, it goes either way.
Yeah, that's true. Um,
That's a hard. I have seen it firsthand on how a play like that can be controversial. LSU and Alabama is a prime example of when Ed Reed picked off Alabama, and they said that he didn't. I've seen it
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
It's just one
Um,
of those a tough thing to call, especially in a game like that.
yeah.
I really don't know how you call something like that. I don't know if they got it right or got it wrong. I'm not a fan of either team, so I can't really.
Speculate. I mean, for me, I saw just that play alone. I didn't really watch the game either because I think it came on a Friday.
Yeah, it was Friday.
Uh, so it's hard. It's hard with the controversial calls. I mean, so far, a lot of people are saying it's just because they want to keep Miami undefeated
Yeah,
for right now.
yeah, yeah.
From what I saw, in my personal opinion, it looked like he came down with the ball. So that's just me, though. I can't speak for everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, they have the replays, but I think aren't the replays like booth only or something like that? That they don't bring in people. Isn't that correct? Or am I wrong on that? Or
Uh,
is that just the NFL?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. That's something we have to look into.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a fan of either team, so I can't really speculate on one. Every I think it's just how they review it. There's not enough evidence to overturn it. I don't know. I really don't know. But
Yeah.
either way you go, they won the game. It's over with. Um, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those calls that it could have went either way. Did Miami being undefeated and what top 10, top 15 team have something to do with it? Maybe, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not 100% sure. But Cam Ward's still out there playing really good, so he's probably the front runner for the Heisman right now. A lot of people are saying it's going to be uh, what's the dude's name from Colorado? My mind just went blank. Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter?
I'm not on his hype train yet. I'm sorry, I'm just not. But that can be another debate for another time. I'm just not. I can't get on it.
Yeah, we'll table that one. We'll say that one for later.
But let's jump into the recap. Uh, had Auburn, Oklahoma. Auburn sold. Had them beat. Peyton Thorne sucks. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like Auburn's a broken record at this point. Like
Honestly.
I, I don't know what you do as a coach. Hugh Freeze is just waiting for the. I don't think they'll let him go, but I think if they don't win another game, they're gonna let him go. And at the rate their schedule's going, they'll beat Mercer. Other than that, I don't see them beating
That
anybody
is
else.
that is hilarious. I think they're gonna surprise a couple of teams.
I don't.
I'll wait till we get
Oklahoma
to
had
the
five wide receivers that did not play.
yeah.
Their running back did not play. They got beat by a backup quarterback and a team that was full of injuries. I mean, they were beating them. They just that pick six killed them. But it's the same thing every week with Auburn. They just I hate it for those 5 stars and all this talent that they got in because it's demoralizing just losing like that. I'd be pissed if I was the head coach. Peyton
Honestly,
Thorne is
they're
sitting
just
the bench. I mean, we're losing games regardless. He's not it. I don't care. I'm trying everybody. We can have open tryouts Monday. Today, we've been having tryouts. Walk ons, something. Give me something.
honestly, it's weird because he plays really well at points, and then at the points that he plays really well, it's like he just makes that mistake.
Yep. He goes from playing really well to just all of a sudden I don't know, he flips a switch. But yeah, their team is there again. They're one play away from just being undefeated. If that pick six doesn't happen, they can beat Oklahoma because they don't score. I don't know. If I'm Hugh Freeze, you got to figure something out because if not, at this rate, you're not going to make it through the season. But yeah, I don't know. Another upset was Kentucky beating Ole Miss. Ole Miss was favored by like 20 points, I think.
Were they? They probably were, honestly. But
I
that's
think so.
a lot of that's projected off how they're out here beating these nobodies that they were playing, stat pads and stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm not surprised that Ole Miss dropped the game because this is at this
they weren't
point,
ready.
year by year is what Ole Miss does. They drop a game that they really should. And honestly, their defense played well enough for them to win that game, but their offense just I don't know if their offense just wasn't ready or Kentucky's defense is just that good. Because Kentucky did hold Georgia to just 13 points. And they turned around and held Ole Miss to 17. So Kentucky's defense, I think, at this point, we have to say, like, give them their credit because they're playing some good
Yeah,
football.
but I bring up the South Carolina game. They got throttled by South Carolina. I don't know if there were turnovers. I'm not sure what was going on,
It's one of those games you had to watch to kind of know what
but I don't know. Ole Miss does this every year. They get all the hype and they lose to somebody they shouldn't. Which they missed a field goal that tied the game, and it wasn't even close because I watched it.
happened.
They had Jackson Dart running for his life. He was all over the place. You know what Ole Miss is lacking? Quinshon Judkins. They missed him a lot. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, Parrish is good. Don't get me wrong, but Judkins led the SEC 2 years in a row in rushing. I think something like that. He was close. So he's doing his thing at Ohio State. So, but yeah, Ole Miss does this every year. I'm not even surprised. That's what happens when you play four cupcakes and you haven't played anybody all year. But another one that I wasn't surprised is SMU. They absolutely throttled Florida State. I don't know what their problem is. They suck.
Florida State is shambles. I don't even know what else to say about that. I don't know. You thought that with the guys that they went out and got that they'd be halfway decent, but they're not
You
good.
can't you can't blame it on injuries because I don't know if anybody's hurt.
I doubt it. They're just not
They're
good. It
terrible.
is what it is. They
But
peak.
there's a reason that DJ, whatever his name is, went to Oregon State. He should have stayed in a smaller conference. performance. I get it. He played good, but there's a reason why he couldn't hang at Clemson. The competition, some people just aren't good enough.
Honestly,
Bo Nix is a prime example. He couldn't hang in the SEC. He won some big games, not going to take anything away from him. But when he went to Oregon, that was the best thing he could ever done. Now look at him. He just beat one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Aaron Rodgers yesterday.
that is true. He did.
So he just beat his idol. I mean, sometimes you just got to go to those smaller schools. Sometimes you're just not good enough to play in the SEC. You're playing
See,
against actual talent. Now, getting beat by SMU, I think they won like 42-10 or something like that. They got blowed out.
now I saw this. What was it? I saw some video explaining a theory that somebody had about why DJ fell off because they said he peaked in like his freshman year, in those few games that he was playing for Clemson. So pretty much from like high school when he was considered like the number one quarterback and all that good stuff in between his freshman year at Clemson, he basically peaked. So everything after that was just bad football for him. So he just peaked at the wrong time.
Clemson did also have a really good team that year, too.
That is true. Clemson hasn't had exactly the top of the line team since Trevor Lawrence and that crop of guys left. So, but now that he went to Oregon State, now at Oregon State, I wouldn't say he balled out, but he played like how you expected him to play for that team. And then he comes back to Florida State, and everybody kind of expects him to
Yeah,
have that
when he
experience.
came in, it was him. I'll never forget it. They're probably two of the biggest busts. Him, I wouldn't say Spencer Rattler's a bust, but him and Spencer Rattler, when they came in, this is when
Uh,
NIL started.
he definitely was.
It
Spencer
was
Rattler.
him and Spencer Rattler. They were the face. They were both Heisman front runners. DJ was like the head of the Fansville, all that. You remember that?
He had too much hype around him.
And then he fell off the face of the planet, and then Caleb Williams took over.
That's true. He did.
So, I mean, it happens. But some other games we touched on, Notre Dame beat Louisville. I think Notre Dame's just one of those teams that they also get a lot of hype around them. And then when they play somebody good, they get beat. I mean, they got beat by Northern Illinois or whoever they lost to.
That one wasn't really
Or Illinois
expected
or
though.
whoever they got beat to.
That one wasn't really expected though. You didn't really expect them to lose that game because they were favored by way too much. Notre Dame isn't one of those teams that you expect to drop a game to somebody like that. You normally expect them to like get blowed out by like a very tough opponent.
Yeah, like they'll make it all the way to the playoffs undefeated and then play like Ohio State or Alabama, Georgia, Texas, whoever, and then just get destroyed.
Yeah. So that one was way out of left field when they lost to Northern Illinois. That was just like a blip on the radar. But
One person that's been on my radar is Avery Johnson from Kansas State. He's been playing out of his mind. Excuse me.
yeah, they did.
They beat the brakes off Oklahoma State yesterday.
I don't even think Oklahoma State's really that good though. They're one of the more overrated teams every year. So I'm not surprised that they're sitting at like what 2-2 right now.
Yeah, Kansas State's undefeated, I think. I don't think they've lost. I think they're 4-0, 5-0 now.
No, I think they got one loss. I think they have one.
Oh, maybe I haven't really kept up with them. But I'll let you take Alabama and Georgia since you're the Alabama fan. Oh, well, hold on. Let's touch on LSU for a second. We'll jump to Alabama and Georgia. I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
we played the best football we've played all year. I know it's South Alabama, but I mean they've scored like 80 points in the last 2 weeks, and I get it's different competition. But I like what I've seen from our defense. I really do. I think we
Yeah.
played a sound 4 quarters. Yeah, we were sluggish at times, but we were up, 35-10 or whatever.
Well,
But
it's the like you said, it's the level of competition.
yeah, we're gonna find out Saturday. We'll get to or we'll find out in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We have a bye this week, but
Yeah.
we'll find out. But I like what I've seen. I think we found our RB1 in Caden Durham. He was played out of his mind. I think we're starting to kind of get it figured out. I think we've knocked some of the rust off, but
Uh,
we're about to jump into SEC play here, so this is where we're going to find out.
you say you think y'all got it figured out and y'all knocking the rust off till Ole Miss come out there and hang 50 on y'all head.
I'm not worried about Ole Miss. They couldn't even beat Kentucky.
Yeah, but Kentucky's defense is actually good. Y'all's defense is
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then we are going to beat them because we hung 40 on South Carolina. We hung in
yeah,
there
but
with them, and they throttled Kentucky. So,
y'all also gave up like 30 plus points to South Carolina too.
but we still won though.
Yeah, but I'm saying y'all's you
We're
remember
gonna
how
we're
that
gonna
game
beat
went.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss's defense is actually pretty good. So if y'all come out there and play like y'all did in the first half against South Carolina, against Ole Miss, they might blow y'all out by like 20 or 30. In all honesty,
I'm worried about the big plays from Jackson Dart, but
if you,
that's in 2 weeks, so we'll find out. We got a whole week of bye, and Ole Miss plays South Carolina, so we'll see. We'll see
I think
if
it'll
they
be a
come
pretty
out
good
and
game.
throttle South Carolina. Yeah, we might be in trouble.
I well, not necessarily. I think it'll be a pretty because every game, every Saturday is different. So just because you lose to one team one week doesn't mean you'll lose to the same team the next week. Well,
The
not the same
only
team,
thing
the other
about
team.
Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin is crazy. They just be doing stuff like I'm surprised that he lasted this long, going for it on fourth down. They're not scared by any means. I remember when they played Alabama a couple of years ago. They went for it on fourth down every time. I don't think they punted the ball once.
And they got blew out. Not blew out.
Yeah,
They won. Bama won, but only by like I think
I think it was
a
like 10,
touchdown. It was like
something
10,
like
I
that.
think.
It was it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, he kept going for it on fourth down, and they weren't getting it. But I think it'll be a great game. I think that'll be a nice little prediction we get to do when we come up on that one.
Yeah, I'll let you take Alabama and Georgia since you're the Alabama fan.
All right. In all honesty, I thought what everybody else thought in the first half. Bama might put 70 on them, and Bama looked great. Bama looked like how you expected them to look in a game like that. And it's exactly like I said. The ceiling for that game was one of them's going to blow the other one out. And then the floor is it's just going to be a game of the year type of game. And you got all that in one game. Because in that first half, it was definitely a ceiling. And in the second half, it was like the floor because it turned into the game of the year.
Oh yeah,
Jalen Milroe, he was out there doing whatever he wanted to in the first half. They bottled him up in the second half, but Ryan Williams, man, by the time he's a junior, he'll be a top 5 pick for sure.
yeah.
Um,
He might screw around and win the Heisman.
Now the defense, they played out of their mind in that first half. But in the second half,
Yeah, they took their foot off the gas. Is what happened.
honestly, I don't even think it's that. I think they were still doing everything that they wanted to do. Georgia just came out and said, "Hey, we're not going to lose this football game like this," and they tapped into a different level and
Yeah,
they
they were
flipped the
stopping
script.
the run and they were putting spies on Milrow.
Yeah,
They were still getting those. You can tell Georgia's missing something on the defense because they were giving up like those like slants to the tight end. Milrow and their tight end was just picking them apart.
yeah.
There really wasn't nothing Georgia could do. But yeah, like you said, I thought we almost turned it off because I was like, man, it's 28-0, man. Like Alabama's about to beat them 55-0 probably, and then all of a sudden Georgia scored,
Yep.
and then they scored again. Yeah, it was 28-0, and then all of a sudden it was almost tied, and then Georgia took the lead.
Yep. Leads change on back-to-back possessions. Game
Yeah,
sealing
I
pick
seen
by the
that.
freshman.
Georgia scored, and they were going crazy on the sideline, and then the next play, Milrow hit Ryan Williams on a bomb. But that was a
Man,
great catch because he bobbled it. Wasn't that play?
no, you think about the
Uh,
wrong one. That was that
okay.
was the other one. That was the other one he called where he bobbled it and then uh took it for a
But
little bit
yeah,
of extra
the end
yard.
of the
That
play,
catch,
yeah, you can't give up. Like you can't. They tried to
man,
tackle him. He tried.
he
The
hit that.
Georgia guy tried to tackle him. He just couldn't.
He hit the slow mo spin move and then took off. Hit the Jets. He was gone.
Yeah, he should
Uh,
have tackled him before he caught it. He tried to, but he just couldn't. But like you
now
said, by the time in 2 years now obviously Milrow's leaving after this year, so they're gonna have to find a quarterback to throw the ball.
I think
Um,
they're fine though. But
but replacing somebody like Milrow is tough because Alabama's never really had a quarterback that dynamic. Because Milrow's he's special.
hold on now. Well,
You can
we'll
say
find.
Jalen Hurts, but I
Yeah,
don't. I think
don't
I'd rather have Milrow.
don't. I'm not saying. I'm just saying don't discount Jalen Hurts because he was very dynamic. The only thing he just
His
benefited
throwing
from,
is what lacked him, but they did
yeah,
have a really good team.
yeah. Jalen Milrow, he definitely has. You can see from a year's perspective, he's grown as a passer. He can hit
Oh,
the
for sure.
intermediate and the short passing game. He can do that. Um,
The deep throws are a little iffy sometimes, but I mean, he's got a cannon for an arm though.
yeah.
But I would be concerned with my defense because my only concern would be on the defensive side because you were up 28-0 and blew a lead. You almost got beat.
Honestly, it's just a secondary.
If
Like
that
I
okay,
said,
if
it's just
we're
it's just a
sitting here,
secondary.
if we're sitting here and the tables are turned and Georgia beat Alabama, I'm not gonna lie to you. It probably would not, that would look really bad on the coaching staff. You gave
Well,
up
I
a
mean,
28-0 lead. You gave up four, well, five touchdowns
yeah, that's true.
in the second half. That's pretty bad.
Yeah,
But Carson Beck kind of settled down because it's hard when Alabama scored like that. They scored what on every time they got the ball.
pretty
That
much.
it's
It was
hard
28 to
because you're
28
out there
to 0.
trying to make plays. You're out there trying to make plays. You're trying to score, and you're making mistakes. You're overthrowing people. You're throwing it in the dirt. Taking sacks, throwing picks. He came out second half. He settled down. Georgia was running the ball. They were doing everything they needed to. They just gave up a big play at the end of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean,
I thought there for a second when they I was screaming. I don't like Alabama first off, but I was screaming at the TV for the Georgia people not to tackle him. Let him score. Just let him score. You had 2 minutes left. I
yeah,
thought there for a second Alabama scored too quick.
I thought that
I was
too.
like, all right, let him score. You have 2 minutes to go. You had four timeouts with the 2 minute timeout. Georgia had four timeouts. You had plenty of time. And then Carson Beck threw a pick.
Yeah. But I mean, the
That
season's
was the worst game he's played so far by any means this year and last year. That's the worst game he's played so far.
yeah, but I mean, the season's still young. They'll be fine. I think they're still a playoff team, but they
Yeah,
I think
but like they said on
defensively,
game day, they said on game day that it hurts Georgia to lose because Georgia's got a tough schedule slate wise,
They have to
and
win
they
out those two.
already got a loss. So
They got to win out pretty much because if you look at the rest of their slate, there's Texas. I'm pretty sure there's Tennessee.
yeah,
Honestly they're going to have to win out to be a playoff team because now with that loss, I'm pretty sure they can't go to the conference championship.
they need Alabama to lose now.
Yeah, or they have to beat Texas.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how all that's going to work because now there's no tiebreaker because there's no conference anymore.
I think they're going to look at probably schedule and
Well,
stuff
if
like
that's
that
the
now.
case and Alabama loses, Georgia's going to win the case because Georgia has a stronger schedule. They just played better teams.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
it's going to be close.
I think
But
I think Georgia gets the
the
nod.
close game with Missouri and Vandy is going to hurt Missouri.
I
They
think
have
Georgia
to
gets
beat Tennessee.
yeah,
Alabama just can't lose.
pretty much they got to win out too. I mean, they're I think even if they take it depends on who they take the loss to because I think if it comes down to
If they
let's
lose
say
in
it's,
the next 3 weeks, exclude Vandy. So they got Missouri, Tennessee, and LSU. If they lose one of them, I think they're fine.
yeah, but I mean if it comes
Unless LSU has like 2 losses at this point. That's going to hurt. You cannot lose to LSU if they have 2 losses. That's going to kill you.
yeah, but it like I said if it comes down to let's say there's a tie at the for who's the other team to get into the conference championship and it's between Georgia and Alabama. I think Georgia gets the nod because they have, I think, one more better non-conference opponent in Clemson than Bama does. So they probably give the nod to them because their schedule is tougher, like probably by like a game. But I don't even know if that's how that works.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not sure. I don't know how they look at it.
I don't want to drag too much more into that, so we can go ahead and hop into our
The
predictions for this
predictions.
week.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's start off Georgia and Auburn. Another big rivalry. What if Georgia cannot lose here?
I'm going for the upset right off the bat.
I don't
Auburn
think
wins by
so.
3.
I think Georgia is going to make a statement here that shows them that they can play. If it's close, this hurts because Auburn sucks.
Yeah, but
If this game
Pey-
is close, this might be the game that determines it right here.
Peyton Thorne, you remember last year, if he was at least
If their
halfway decent,
defense could have stopped Brock Bowers, they beat them. They ain't
yeah,
gonna have that this year.
but they had an opportunity to go and win the football game or at least tie it and go to overtime. And Peyton Thorne threw a pick. So Peyton Thorne, if you want to be Tom Brady this weekend, this Saturday is the time to do it. Because we know he can run the ball. We know Auburn can run the football. Georgia is going to struggle stopping them from running the football. I guarantee it.
See, if
Passing
I'm
though,
Georgia, I'm loading the box. Peyton Thorne's beating me throwing it. I'm leaning on my corners and my safeties, and I'm putting 10 in the box or 9 in the box. I'm loading it. They got to beat me throwing it.
give me Auburn 27-24.
I don't even think Auburn can score that many points.
That's my final prediction right there. Auburn 27, Georgia 24.
So I think Georgia's going to beat them 35-17. I don't think Peyton Thorne's going to get it done. I think this has got the potential to be a good game. I don't know. Alabama and Vandy.
It could be. Vandy has looked really good up to this point. I'm not gonna lie to you. Normally Vandy's like probably what 1-4. They're 2-2 right now, and their quarterback has
Yeah.
looked pretty good. But
I think it'll be a close game for a little bit because, I mean, Vandy almost beat Missouri. Took them to
exactly,
overtime.
exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's got the potential to be a good game. It's either going to be a good game or Alabama's going to beat them by 40 or 30.
Prediction wise, 42-21, Bama.
That's what I was going to say. I think it'll be close till about halftime. It's an early game, and I think Alabama will run away with it. This is
I
going to be a
agree.
blowout. Clemson's going to beat Florida State by 24.
I'm not even going to talk about the game. I'm just going to give you a prediction because Florida State is just bad. You lost by what 20 something points to.
Yeah, SMU. Yeah, it was bad. It was. I think it was more than that.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna just say 35-14.
Yeah. We got Ohio State and Iowa. I think that'll be a pretty good game. Iowa's got a pretty good defense. I don't think that they're just going to let Ohio State run it all over them.
They're gonna have to score. Iowa's gonna have to score points if they want to win that game. Iowa always
Yeah, I don't
struggles
think they're
point
going to
wise.
win. I don't think they're going to be able to score enough. But I think Ohio State wins 28-14.
I'm not even gonna give them 14. I'm gonna say they score 6, and Ohio State maybe has 30.
And then we got Ole Miss and South Carolina. This is another game. I think South Carolina can beat them. They throttled Kentucky, and Kentucky just beat Ole Miss.
Exactly.
So you just got to look at it from that perspective. South Carolina's got a really good defense themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
They just missed the tying field goal with LSU. Their quarterback was hurt. I don't know if Sellers is going to play. He
That'll
didn't play last week, but they played Akron. They beat them 55-10 with Robbie Ashford. But
that'll be a big factor if he plays.
if
I think
Robbie
they
Ashford plays, Ole Miss will beat them 55-10.
Yeah, I think
They will beat the brakes off of South Carolina if Sellers doesn't play.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with Ole Miss and say they bounce back, and I'm gonna say um I think they'll score a lot of points. It might be a shootout. I'm gonna say 42-34.
I'm going to say 38-35 South Carolina. They kicked the field goal to beat them. They're going to stun Ole Miss back to back. Ole Miss is going to drop 2 in a row.
That's fair. That's fair.
Heartbreaking loss. Your season's not over with, but that loss to Kentucky hurts because they
Yeah.
weren't even ranked. Tennessee, Arkansas has the potential to be a good game too. I'm curious to see if Tennessee bounces back. They had a good game with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So
Arkansas's defense, I don't know. I think if Arkansas's defense can come out and play a solid 4 quarters of football like they should have done when they played Oklahoma State, who they should have beat, I think they have a chance to beat Tennessee. But I'm going to go with Tennessee on this one, and I'm going to say 24-13.
yeah, because Arkansas gave up a lot of points to UAB. I don't know how good their defense is. They did beat Auburn. Auburn
Taylor
played
Green,
terrible.
Taylor Green turns the ball over too much, though. I think that's another issue.
Yeah, you can't give the ball to Tennessee. Oklahoma was a prime example of that. If they would have just stopped turning the ball over, quit fumbling the ball, they might have beat Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas's defense, I don't think they're going to be able to hang in there with Tennessee. I think Nico is going to have a field day with them because Arkansas couldn't stop UAB to save their life.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine what Tennessee's going to do to them.
Oh, yeah.
But wrapping it up Friday, we have another Friday game, Oregon and Michigan State.
Oregon is going to
got it figured
destroy
out.
them.
Oregon kind of has it figured out now. Took them a little bit, but you're bringing in pieces. You're bringing in Dylan Gabriel, different system.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. Dylan Gabriel has been balling out. I'm going to be real
Yeah,
with
these
you.
last
But
couple weeks, yeah.
no, like all season. I don't know if you've been looking at his stat lines, but all season, bro, he's been pretty good.
Yeah, their defense just sucks.
Yeah, I think that the defense, I think they're actually starting to figure it out, though. I think they're coming into conference play. Michigan State, obviously, I don't think they're going to be a tough opponent for Oregon. I think Oregon is going to go out there and Dylan Gabriel's going to keep doing what he's been doing. I think they win by the tune of, I'm going to say 38-21, Oregon.
Yeah, yeah. Oregon should be able to beat them. It might be close for a little bit. Michigan State usually has a solid defense, but I think Oregon's just going to be way too much.
Yeah. Is
We
that all the
got
games we got? Or
Yeah,
no?
that's all I got.
Oh, well,
If you had to pick three people right now to be in your Heisman front runners, who are you putting in there? I know we got a few more minutes.
Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, and I'm going to go ahead and say Travis Hunter, but only because he's actually playing really good football on both sides, and he's playing like every snap of the game. So you got to account all of that in there too.
Yeah, I'm not putting him in there. I can't do it. I'm not being a hater.
That's cool.
I'm gonna put Cam Ward in there.
Uh-huh.
I gotta put Milroe in there. And I'm probably gonna put it's a tie between the quarterback from Kansas State, Avery Johnson, and I can't remember what his name is, but he's a running back.
Oh, I forgot about Ashton Genty. That should have been my third person. He's going crazy.
Who?
Ashton Genty from
Yeah, him.
Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State's running back. I knew he played at Boise, but I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, dog, he's running wild.
Yeah, he's going crazy.
So yeah, those are my few. I can't get on the Travis Hunter train. I'm sorry. I just feel like you're playing Baylor.
Yeah, that's true.
You're playing weak Pete. You're playing, I can't take nothing away from him. He's still doing it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but yeah, let's wrap it up. That's
All
all
right.
I got.
Well, I mean, if that's all we got, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe. We're not going to get too much into because a lot of times, week to week, we've been talking about everything. We're attempting to do and everything. So this week, we're just going to leave it short. I think a lot of the people who are tuning in know, what we're trying to do, where we've come from, how much we've progressed since our very first episode that we've dropped. So, we'll keep the train rolling. Anything that we do plan to do, whenever we get schedules set for it, we'll drop dates and everything like that. We do have our Facebook page. Go check it out. Like our page, add us in, yada, yada, yada. And we will catch y'all in the next episode.